she got Nikki on board. Shit. And it sounded like she's going around preaching to everybody. Aaron, she literally said out of her mouth, Aaron is killing us. I just wanted to give you a heads up that was going on. That's what she was saying. And obviously no one's gonna, maybe Nikki's on board. Nikki's like, yeah, he is, the food's been unhealthy. But she felt that way for a while. But I don't think anyone's gonna jump in and be like, yeah, Aaron's trying to kill us. But that you should know that's what Bella's going around saying.
I don't even care. Everybody gotta have a scapegoat. Everybody does. Nobody.
She's blaming Brad being sick on you. She's blaming her liver failing on you.
The majority of the people here don't know what personal accountability is. Meaning that they don't know how to take account for their own actions. I guarantee you that Amanda's doing just fine right now. Why is Amanda doing just fine? Because Amanda didn't agree with the way the food was being prepared. She knows her body, so what did Amanda do? Amanda started to cook her own food. There was nothing against me. There was no problems, and I didn't have anything against Amanda. Amanda's perfectly fine. Bella has always had that option, and so has Nikki. The two people that are quote-unquote sick came in here sick. They came in here with health altercations.
And that's what I said. I'm like, I think it's ridiculous for you to be so lazy not to cook your own food and then sit there and eat what everyone else is cooking. And
but she eats more. She also eats more than everybody else. It has nothing to do with me not cooking organic food. It has nothing to do with me using vegetable oil over extra virgin olive oil.
You can't cook with extra virgin olive oil. If you heat it, it changes the chemical properties, become a carcinogen.
You can't tell these things to certain people. But once again, like I said, it doesn't bother me. I honest to God, reached that point. Like, I love this place. I love the interactions that I've made since I've been here, and it's a blessing and a great opportunity. But at the same time, if my name comes up on the list at the end of the month to go home, I'm not mad at it. So I'm just like, okay. Honest to God, like
I don't think anyone here, but except those two, has anything against you, Aaron.
I mean, I just don't. Like, mentally, I'm just tapped out before even this. Like, I think that this court thing was complete bullshit. I think that the punishment was even dumber. I think that the racial implications that came from it were ridiculous, and I do agree with Mike. But on the other side of that, I'm not going to sit here and argue with people, because then it just makes it look bad on myself. And it makes me look like I'm lazy or I have a problem with it because of this and that. So I just said, fuck it, I'll finish it up and do it. But then to have some cockamamie meeting about race and its implications, like, I'm sick of that. I actually left a state that is the most racist state in the United States ever. Literally, ever. Mississippi. To the extent of there's still racism going on all across the world, but it's right apparent today. Like, I can still go to Mississippi right now, and there's restaurants that will not serve me. That will look at me crazy. Like, I left, and I've lived there my whole life. So to leave that place, I was bringing a different mindset here, like, to avoid all of that, not to come here and hop right back into that. Like, I got to go to court. Okay, cool. You know what? I believe in court system. I believe in the judicial system. Let's do it. The implications that were against me, I come up with an actual system. I have an entire court presentation. I have everything that I'm supposed to have in court with me, ready, prepared, and I'm prepared. I have witnesses. I have everything. And then the person I'm going against, some white guy who has nothing, who's lackadaisical, no shirt, jolly golly, decides that he wants to go against me over some mayonnaise, and me yelling at him after my apologizing and forgiving the situation. And then I get in trouble. I get in trouble. After all of that, the only thing that was pointed out was the fact that I made a verbal threat, not directly to him, but to the extent people who push get their ass kicked from somebody who's in my face. Let's not forget. And then I get punished for it. I'm the first person to get punished for it. And coincidentally, I'm a black guy. I hate bringing race into everything. I hate that. I hate everybody always running to the race card. And then as soon as it comes to a black guy, it's like, oh, we knew that was coming. Like, that's bullshit. But now I gotta sit around and do 30-minute freaking temper tantrum stuff with Amanda, and then I gotta go and till and for an hour. And yeah, Mike's right. The racial implications and the personification of me having to go out there and till in the hot ass sun in the middle of the day as a black guy with a whole bunch of white people looking on me is fucking ridiculous. It's pathetic. It's ludicrous. It is annoying. It really is. But then I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. Because do I continue to do it so that I can get it done and then nobody here argues with me? Or do I not do it because of the way it looks on the outside to everybody else? And it looks like I'm not standing up for what I believe is right. Because I got to stay here and deal with you guys for the next, 43 weeks, 44 weeks. So I'm tapped out. I really am. I'm tapped out. I can't keep dealing with people like Nikki that are two-faced. I can't keep dealing with people like Josh that one day he's up, one day he's down, one day he wants to be my boy and he wants to resolve the situations. The other day he feels like, fuck the and I can't trust you. It's just like, it's too much. It's too much. Me being in the military is about camaraderie. It's about trusting your partner. I don't care what race or creed he is. That doesn't matter. It's that I trust that person. That's the only reason why that works. That's the only reason why the United States military works. The 15 of us could be the same thing and have the same mission. We all have the same mission at hand. But people don't trust each other. And people don't know how to leave their mindset at the gate. And people believe that they know more than the next person. And that's the problem. I can't deal with it. So, I mean, Bella can scream from the top of her lungs whatever it is that she believes and tell people that people are to believe whatever she has to say, then okay. If it takes two people to push that, then okay. I'm perfectly fine with it, Bri.
I don't even know. I don't even know how to feel. Well, this is just a freaking mess.
I got blisters on top of blisters from hoeing out there, and I was only out there for 45 minutes in the middle of the sun. And I'm looking up, and there's Nikki looking right at me, and there's Hex looking right at me, doing jewelry. And Chris is right next to me, and so is Cal. But then they get to arguing with Mike, and Mike argues back, and now Cal's saying the only reason Mike's acting that way is because of Dedeker, and this and that. And I'm just like, dude, this is just too much. Like,
was Cal and Chris tilling with you?
Yeah. Chris was right next to me, tilling with me.
So
and I think that Chris had the right mindset, but the wrong agenda. Like, he went about it the wrong way. I don't want to be a part of a society where things like manual labor. The reason why manual labor was outlawed is the same reason why manual labor was the first thing that came to mind. Like, that was the first thing that he could think of. What do you think that was the first thing that people could think of back in the day? It was the exact same thing. The only thing they could think of was manual labor. And what was the manual labor for? For the progression of the group. That's what it was. But it was part of a chain gang. It's the same thing that they do now. Manual labor is for the progression of the group or the society in which you live in.
I had a fight with him over this.
I disagree with it. I really do. I wholeheartedly. Do I feel like there should be repercussions for actions being made? Yes. But do I feel like they could be deferred? Yes.
There is a way to do things, and I like how he said that love circle where if someone breaks and makes an infraction, you put them in a circle and put love and positivity back into them. I like that idea. I don't know how he came up with this whole punishment crap. And I think
because Josh pushed it on him while he was sitting out here.
To even say any type of punishment here can be taken in such a wrong way. Anyone could twist anything into a negative thing, and even if you sit there and say, yeah, you know what, the dishes need to be washed, or you make an infraction, we'll all do the dishes together, and we'll do it with you. But then that can be like, oh, well, it was a woman who committed the infraction, so now you're saying a woman should do the dishes, and that's like racism or sexism or whatever, and then now it's a problem, and there's
just too many problems. Are you going to put Amanda out there? If Amanda commits the same crime that I did? course not.
You can't, like,
because Amanda's pregnant and she's a female. Are you going to put Nikki out there if she commits an infraction the same way that I did? Of course not, because she's a female. So you're going to try to find something lighter for her to do, right? But that infraction is ridiculous. So now you have to come up with rules and laws for male and female, pregnant and non-pregnant, impotent and non-impotent. Like, you just have to come up with so many different things.
No matter what you come up with, someone's going to be upset. If you say, oh, females can't till a garden because it's too much work for them, then now the feminism will be upset. They'll be like, we are the same as men. We can do anything a man can do. But these times as a woman to do dishes, now it's sexism. Well, you say only women can do dishes, that's it? And it just, we can't do anything we do here. Can we take it in such a skewed way? Yep. Regardless of what it is.
Yeah. That's why it's on us. That's why it's so hard. That's why this is an experiment.
Yeah, I mean, really, I think we just need to do what we do and just do us and just not worry about what the rest of the world is thinking or saying or whatever.
That's impossible. That's impossible. And the reason why is because you have to remind yourself that you have to go home. This isn't your life. You're here for a year, but this is not your life. And the actions that you commit here in this time, in the very moment, will always either haunt you or help you once you leave. Once you leave those gates, it will dictate how your life will go. I mean, obviously you can say, well, I don't care what people think once I get on the other side of the gate too. Cool. But what about who it affected? Your actions, the words. Those can like really take a toll on your life. Trust me. I've done this before. I know. You go back home and you did something here and you say, I don't care. But when you go back home, you realize that your mother won't talk to you, or your father won't talk to you, or your friends don't want to be around you anymore, or the things that you used to do, you can't do anymore. And you think to yourself, well, I don't care. But you can only take but so much. A human can only take but so much. You got to be careful. Be yourself while you're here, but don't be stupid while you're here. And I'm not saying you're stupid. I'm saying, like, you know, just be careful and cautious of all your actions that you commit here. When I was down in that group and I said, I don't give two fucks, like, do I regret saying it like that? Yes. But do I feel like that whole meeting was about me? Yes. And hearing everybody else voice what they had to say about it as if they're me is ridiculous. It really pissed me off hearing Cal talking.
I think it's really important for you to get back in there and tell your side of the things and let them know how you feel, because whatever this is really important, and I feel like we should probably talk about it and find a way to move past it instead of having it hover like this. And I can kind of see what Mike was saying, how it could be perceived in the wrong way. I didn't even think of it that way. And then it's not about how things can be perceived. If we can show people it's not like that. I think that if we didn't make it like that, it would have been just fine. Because it wasn't like we like you were telling and all of us were sitting there watching. You know, you got the rest of us out, like you got two guys out there tilling right with you, right beside you.
You can't control what things are perceived as. You can't control how other people perceive situations. That's the one thing you can never do.
But, you know, Chris is whatever government going on right now, and he's the one who kind of, I guess, it was only up to him, and he was the one who, quote-unquote, sentenced you to go out there, and he was right there next to you doing the same work, and it wasn't like you were out there by yourself. So in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it was that bad of a, I mean, if you were there by yourself and we were sitting there watching, yeah, that's horrible.
It's just the action in itself.
But then that's like you can say, like, you can never tell a black person to go do any kind of manual labor for any, as a form of consequence or repercussion or anything like that, because now it can be seen in this sort of way.
I wouldn't tell anybody to.
And it's like saying...
That's the thing, though. I wouldn't tell anybody to. As a form of punishment, I wouldn't go to Mike and tell Mike, who is stereotypically the pure white bread guy, rich, and has his way, to go and till in the middle of the day or go and skim shit off the lake as a punishment. I wouldn't force anybody to do any type of manual labor, no matter what race they are, no matter what it is. That's just because I'm against that in general.
I'm against any kind of punishment, repercussion, consequence in general, like ever. I don't think there should be any type of, like, I think things should be redirected, but I don't think there should be punishment and repercussions and consequences. I don't believe in that. You know, I believe in positive reinforcement. You do this right, this happens. You do that wrong, well, let's try something else. Let's not do that again, let's try something else. I don't think there should be any kind of backlash for any type of action you may have, and I don't think negative consequences are, I don't know, helpful. I don't think they work. I think they just do the opposite. They just make situations worse. So I was really against Chris going up there and having punishments, and me and him had a pretty big fight about it.
Well,
but that's part of this social experience, is just doing things and seeing what works and what doesn't work. And unfortunately, part of a social experiment is going to be doing bad and doing some things wrong. And, you know, it's an experiment. We don't know. Probably very upset, and some people out there probably didn't see it that way, and they're just like, why are you guys making a big deal of it? That's not what the experiment's about.
I'm over it.
It's just one of those days. You need a beer.
Alcohol doesn't do it for me.
Oh.
I don't escape through alcohol. That's why I don't drink much.
What would make it better? Cake?
Nothing that's here. I can tell you that. Nothing that's here.
Doctor?
I need to talk to anybody. It doesn't help. Not for me. I'm not a big talker. I know what helps me and what doesn't help me, and I'd rather just go to what helps me on the outside. So I'll keep on doing it until my goal is met here. I'm just like Father John. Me and Father John talked. I only got one mission while I'm here. And when my mission is met, then I'm perfectly fine with leaving.
What's your mission?
It's been pretty close.
What's your mission?
The congregation of food. The community around food and what food does to people. How food brings people closer together. How, like Thanksgiving and Christmas, Rob's wedding, Rob's bachelor party, certain days and things, food can really bring people together, and how much work really goes into it. That's all. That's all, just to appreciate food. Not this specialty stuff and all this other crap like Bella's pushing and Nikki's pushing and all. These things in particular.
Here's a good solution, Aaron. I strongly suggest that you stop cooking for Bella, stop cooking for Nikki. They have voiced their opinions and their distaste for what you're serving over and over again, yet they continue to sit there and eat the food that you cook and eat a lot of it and then complain. So I think you should just say, you know what, I've had enough of your complaining, you don't like my food, you're unsatisfied with it, let's not eat it, you can do your own thing like Amanda. Because laziness isn't an excuse. So I'm too lazy to cook my own food, so I'm going to eat your food, but I'm going to sit here and bitch and complain about the whole... No, that's ridiculous. That's just ludicrous. So I strongly urge you to stop cooking for Bella and Nikki and tell them to start cooking for themselves. And when, you know, maybe that will make them better. Maybe then they'll stop being sick. Or maybe it won't. But at least then they'll know and they'll appreciate all the hard work you put into it. And, I don't know, stop. And if they continue to be sick, then obviously it's not the food. And that would take the heat off of you. Food for thought. If I was in your shoes, that's what I would do. I would just be like, no, you don't eat from my pot, and you sit there and complain about the food I make.
I'm just not spiteful.
It's not out of spite. If they sit there and they think your food is killing them, that's great. Cook your own food. You're more than welcome to. It's everybody's kitchen. Get in there and do it yourself.
It's true. This is very true.
It has nothing to do with spite. If they believe your food is killing them, then they can make their own food. They don't have to eat it. You are not shoving it down their throat. They shouldn't make it seem that way.
Well, I will make that very apparent tonight. I'm certain that Bella's going to say something about this tonight.
Probably. Just wanted to give you a heads up, that's all.
Thanks, love.
Feel better.
And once again, I do apologize for that.
No, you're good. We're good. You're fine. I understand.
Just another day in utopia.